Managing Amazon PPC campaigns with AI, artificial intelligence automation, just alone can lead to poor results and wasted ad spend, especially for bigger brands. In this video, you will learn why AI-only PPC management is not always the best solution, and you can discover ZonGuru's approach that combines rule-based bidding, velocity-based optimization, and organic rank position tracking to achieve better results. If you want to try ZonGuru for yourself, you'll find the link below in the video description.
Hello, John. Welcome back to Orange League YouTube channel. I'm excited to have you back because today we have a very interesting topic to discuss about and about what you would like to share your insights based on your experience and ZonGuru's experience is that why AI is not enough for Amazon sellers when it comes to PPC. And I think you have some good things to share about it. But as always, we start with your introduction and also you introducing ZonGuru a little bit because there might be viewers who haven't perhaps not used your tool before or haven't seen the previous videos we had recorded. So who you are and what ZonGuru is doing.
Hey, LISETT, good to see you as always. We've been on a few times on the channel, so thanks for the support. And from my side, I'm the founder and CEO of ZonGuru. We've been around the space for quite some time, and at a high level, we have technology for brands that sell on Amazon and for agencies. So, there's many tools you can use on our side, everything from business intelligence to keyword intelligence, SEO, review automation, niche analysis, and the list goes on. But I think, one of the areas where we're particularly strong and our flagship areas around keyword intelligence and SEO and different approaches we have there around, how do we get keywords? How do we focus on localized keywords, context of keywords? And importantly, how do we, with our deep understanding of Amazon's algorithm and all the changes that are happening in the space with Rufus and Cosmo and everything else, how do we make sure that we're optimizing and aligning with what the algorithm is looking for? And we have a lot of AI intelligence that it was first in the market that we've brought out, and we have a lead there. So SEO, algorithm, and how to best align with that to get the flywheel going and growing on Amazon is our specialty. As I said, our focus is definitely on creating better technology and workflows for agencies. So a lot of agencies that are specialists in the marketplace use our technology, and then larger brands will use our technology to grow. So with that focus on agencies, we also have a managed service on our side. So the reason we have managed services, some bigger brands that are our customers have asked for us to really manage their brands and help them grow. But we also do that because we, from a like-minded place, we want to solve the problems that agencies have. So we work very closely with all our agencies. We're not competing with them, but we're ultimately helping brands grow and then learning what the problems are that we need to solve with agencies and grow from there. So that's a high-level summary of who ZonGuru is, who we are, and also a segue into this PPC side that we're going to talk about today, which is typically not an area that we focus on because we don't have done for you technology that our customers can use on the PPC side, but we have a lot of learnings there from what we are doing on the agency side and some new proprietary services that we've developed there.
And that's exactly why it's super interesting to hear your thoughts about it. Because as you said, I also don't think we have recorded any videos before about like your insights or takeaways regarding to the PPC area of running an Amazon business. And it's nice that through those different things you're doing with ZonGuru, you're actually able to get very different level insights for sellers and then now share them with our viewers. And as I said before, the thing you wanted to talk about is like why AI is kind of not enough for PPC. I think there are a lot of buzz going around saying like AI can do everything for you if you're like an Amazon seller. So I'm super excited to hear what are your thoughts and what's kind of the reasoning behind it. I also think you prepared some content for us to better follow you along. So we can go straight into it and then hear what are kind of your takeaways and we're gonna discuss that further.
Yeah, so thanks, LISETT. I think, as I mentioned, the area that we want to talk about today, or some insights that I want to share, is experience that we're getting on a number of places. One is from our managed services done for you side of the business, where we have larger brands that have really, commissioned us to run and grow the Amazon business. The way that we look at that is we ultimately focus on the organic indexing of the various portfolio products, and how do we help them get into a better organic rank position over time. And importantly, there's many levers that obviously we use to get them into a better position. Mainly, obviously, SEO indexing, but there's certainly price promotion, and PPC is a massive lever as part of getting the listings into a better organic position. So PPC is absolutely a service that we offer. And what's cool from our side is, number one, we have, data engineers that are sellers as well, that have very deep understanding of the algorithm and of PPC and how to grow businesses, and we can rate how they perform versus a whole customer database. So we're typically in the top couple of percentile in terms of performance and how we're optimizing and growing businesses. So we can see and validate, how strong we are in that area. And number two, obviously, we can test and use different softwares and see how they perform and validate them from a data intelligence perspective. So that's been some interesting, progress and things that we've tested over the last while. And I think the theme of this one is, a lot of softwares offer AI automation, and supposedly what they call AI, which is just really a bid optimization bidding engine, but ultimately it's a black box where you can't necessarily see what's going on the inside, right? And we've tested many of them out there, and the one thing I want to say is, like, it can be very good for some brands, and typically what we're seeing is brands that have are very well optimized, are very large in size, that are not too concerned about variations on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis, but typically they're working towards a goal and they're very consistent in their approach and seasonality. PPC automation AI can work very well in those cases. Where we've seen some challenges is when the brand is not as is a little bit volatile, or the marketplace is volatile, or things that are happening on a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, event structure, where we have to be a lot more nimble and react in a much quicker way to get the growth and to get aligned on profits, etc., revenues, ACOS, TACOs in a much quicker way. And that's where we've seen some big challenges with some of the black box AI automation softwares that are out there. And if that's not the solution, then what is the solution? Well, obviously, clearly, you can manually do things on a manual basis inside of Seller Central. But even that, especially on scale, can be pretty cumbersome. So how do we get beyond that and tap into some technologies, some systems that allow for a much more visible access into the PPC rule-based bidding engine that's being created, and allow us to create our own kind of rules around that. So that's the kind of experience that I want to share today, to talk about some of the things that we're seeing, and some interesting areas of opportunity that we've developed that are proprietary to us, that we're not seeing as much in the space. And so I want to kind of jump into that. All right, so let's kind of click forward here. We just talked about this. Obviously, with ZonGuru, we've mentioned, but we clearly have technology connected with most marketplaces globally, from an Amazon perspective, and we have that leadership in the SEO side. So check us out if you are not aware of us yet, but I think you'll find some really cool tools there, or previous videos that I've done with LISETT. So let's talk about this black box AI driven. I think the big question here is, like, listening to us as brand owners or as agencies, are you struggling with the ability to control and get consistent results for your brands? And what I always think about on that side is, and we've experienced, is that it's almost like the tail wagging the dog, right? Where there's been a change to the marketplace, or a change in strategy, or an optimization process that wants to be implemented, and we've aligned on that with the brand owner, and then we've tried to execute on that strategy, but because it's AI driven, you know, there is some time before it actually adjusts to that strategy. And then sometimes it can even go out of whack with that strategy before it aligns. So there's this kind of like delay area that happens behind the AI technology. And sometimes it's hard to control and get it in line. So ultimately what you end up being is, you know, in a position where you've aligned on a strategy with the brand. And then a few days later, they're asking why things are not aligned or completely upside down. And that's basically, we just don't have control of like how to get that AI to really focus in the right amount of time. And, you know, just not getting the results that we need, right? So how do we change that and be much smarter in terms of understanding why it's not aligning and getting access and understanding behind the black box, what is actually happening? So, I want to talk a little bit of some of those problems that we're seeing around the AI. I've mentioned a few, but just there's some interesting ones. Yeah, I think this first one is really interesting, which is what we fundamentally see is like when the AI and the intelligence is not adjusting in the right way to the PPC birds, ACOS, tacos, whatever you've set, or the bid strategy. The biggest fundamental problem there is there's a lack of transparency. We don't understand why. You know, it's almost like you have to trust in just the AI and wait for it to respond, but you don't understand why. And then most importantly, understand and learn from what has happened, right? Without access to what's actually happening, how those bid optimizations happening, at what degree and at what length. You know, we don't have the knowledge to learn and develop the campaigns further. So that's been fundamentally one of the biggest reasons why we've shifted away from trusting in AI and getting more transparent views into the bidding engine, right? The second one is the one size fits all doesn't work. And clearly for brands that are anywhere between that like 2 to 12 million in annual revenue, there's a lot of dynamic volatility that happens in the marketplace, and you have to adjust very quickly. And just a one size fits all does not work. And you know, licenses, SKU breadth, there's a bunch of things that have to be accounted for there. Delayed response we talked about, and then just lack of control. So, you know, that AI making the decision and not being aware of those decisions that are being made. So these are some of the things that are wrong. Now, there are absolutely things that are right, but you know, at a high level, especially with the clients that we'll deal with, the ability to adjust very quickly to your competitors, to the marketplace, to events, prime days, etc. Having that control and that ability to learn is much more important to us. So where have we gone with this? So the pretty cool part about it is we've partnered with a technology that we have a lot of influence on, that ultimately has a rule-based bidding engine that we can access and has a lot of flexibility, you know, variety in terms of how we can set up the bidding rules specifically within, think of it almost like an AI bidding engine black box, but we've got transparent views into that black box, and we can set up all the rules that we want to set up. And that's pretty exciting, because by setting up all the rules, especially if we're coming from a seller DNA engineering background, where we base all our decisions on data, that gives us the ability to be really creative and come up with some interesting rules that are different to what's generally in the marketplace. So more control for sure. I talked about this, like we obviously have engineers with a very strong seller DNA, agency DNA that are building these rules, and we have the flexibility to basically build any rules we want, and come up with unique bidding strategies. So for example, the one really interesting one that we're having a lot of success with right now is typically what we see in the space is, you know, bidding rules that are set up on a historical time-based frequency. So they have a look-back period of 7 to 21 days or whatever it is, and based on the data that's coming in that period, they then make adjustments to the bidding engine, you know, against whatever strategy you've set. And we've changed that to a velocity-based approach. So what we mean by velocity is based on search volume, conversion rates, and actually, you know, getting the statistical inference that you need behind that to make a decision, whether you know, change a bid, or whether you negative match, or you know, whatever rules are against that. If you base on an actual search volume and velocity and conversions, you can make decisions much quicker. So for example, when you come into an event-based a very strong event that's happening within the marketplace, like a Prime Day or something that has a surge in traffic, you can make decisions much quicker and get the engine to adjust in a much faster way than you know, if you just base it on a time based. And also, if you have, for example, inactive listings that go out and the volume drops, it can make adjustments much quicker and just be much more flexible. That's been a massive win for us, and a big focus that we're doing, and we're getting a lot more results based on that strategy. Real-time adjustments for sure, and then obviously that results in high revenue and performance. So in terms of the value prop and some of the things that we're doing on our side, and to be clear, I just want to make this point clear. We're not offering this as a technology that you could just jump in and use that technology to do that. That might come down the road. Right now, what we're offering is, if there are brands that are looking for a done-for-you service where they want to test this and get our team to actually run it for them, we, as a service, we can do that. So we can, show you a little bit more detail of, what this actual PPC structure looks like, and the results that we're getting, and see if this is a good fit for your brand, and then we can do that. So if you're a brand right now and you're struggling with getting that traction and better handle on profitability management and some of that overspend that might be happening in PPC, this might be the right system for you to check out, and you can come in and talk to us about it. So some of the things that we're doing, this is a really cool, interesting area that we've started to develop, which is a massive pain point for brands, which is, how do you scale PPC based on organic rank positions? So at a high level use case, if you have really strong organic positions with and sales that are coming from certain keywords, you don't want a blanket campaign where you also are necessarily bidding high on those keywords with your PPC sponsored ads, right? Because you might be getting the click on the sponsored versus the organic rank position, and therefore that's going to hurt your profitability. So how do you make sure that the priority is given to the organic rank position and a lower bid or no bid, depending on whatever the strategy is, on the sponsored ads, right? So top 15, we can do a 15% AUGUSTAS target, and then 6+ we could do 25%, right? So this is a really interesting area around scale and profitability, about when you are appearing for organic rank, making sure that we're efficient around the PPC strategy based around it. So that's been really interesting for us. And the other piece is the velocity piece, which I talked about, which is, hey, we're making decisions based on number of clicks, orders, impressions, based on conversion rate, right? And the look back period can be 1 week, 2 hours, whatever we want to do around that. So that's the big area that we've unlocked so far. The other part is that there's much more to come. So with this baseline technology that we have and the engineering focus on it, we're constantly testing different rules, optimization strategies, and building this very flexible system that we have the transparency into to bid, optimize, and learn from, and offer that to our brands, and really use PPC in the right way for every customized use case that we can from a brand's perspective. And it's pretty cool. What do you think?
I think it sounds very cool. And my question is, like, what was kind of the main driver for you to kind of have this technology and start to kind of help brands in this way? Was it the fact that those other solutions out there, which are maybe based on more generic rules and AI, they were just not fitting the actual needs of the brands, or was it something else?
That's right. Yeah. So I think, and again, like, it fits with some brands, and specifically much larger brands, doing 10 million plus and with consistent sales, or looking at much more of a year-over-year goal rather than what's happening on the day-to-day. It can work very well, and the system works well in that case. Some of the brands that are more volatile, that need a lot more micromanagement, that 2 million to 10, 12 million in annual revenue, the ability to adjust in a much quicker way, we found it lacking. And so this has driven the system. But more importantly, we've got the right technology and ability to have a transparent bidding engine that has allowed us to quickly and easily learn and test and create different approaches to the marketplace that are getting some fantastic results. So that's kind of what's unlocking it, and why we're excited by what we have and how we can offer that to brands.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, because like currently, I think this the KLIGYS sounds super interesting. Would love to, of course, know more about it and how you have building that up. But that's the thing what Amazon sellers can now do after watching this video. If they feel like it's something interesting and could be a good fit for their brand, then they can reach out to you and you can go from there to see if that would be something that would help to kind of get their PPC to the next level. But I see you have some kind of a case study here, right?
Yeah, we have a bunch of case studies. This is not getting into the detail, but it's kind of a snapshot. Like these are some of the results we're getting, like, some significant growth, 440%, 250%. These are brands that are already doing 2 million plus on Amazon. So they're not just like brand new brands that, are not optimized. We're getting the growth on existing brands that are pretty well optimized. And to your point, I, in terms of connecting with us, and I'll talk about this in a second, but we have an audit process that we go through where we bring a lot of value for free upfront before and kind of assessing whether brands are a good fit for us on the technology and the services side before we move ahead. And that's part of our growth audits and PPC audit that we do. So this is how we do it. We do an audit of your PPC. We identify the opportunities. We develop the custom rules, that are specific to the use case of the brand, and then we implement these agile bidding strategies that are much more, flexible, nimble, and result in once there's a decision made around a strategy, the implementation and the alignment of that strategy with the optimization with the actual strategy is much quicker than other systems that we see. And then obviously we monitor, report, and come back on that. So that's the system at a high level. I think I covered why it works, but at the end of the day, we want clearly more profitable ad spend. We always say this, like, not every sale on Amazon is a good sale, and PPC is the biggest culprit of that, right? Where you're getting a sale through PPC, but if you're doing it at a bad conversion rate or when it wasn't necessary, that's not great for your business, right? So it's going to hurt the algorithm and also be a less profitable sale if you could have got that sale from organic. So how do we make sure that we manage that in a much quicker way, and obviously have visibility around the performance so that we can learn from it, us and the brands together, and improve the performance. I think I've talked about why it doesn't work for some brands. So in terms of taking the next step with us, if you want to do a PPC growth audit, there is a really interesting process we go through, and I'll have a link here you can connect with us on. Typically, you have to be doing at least $1.5 million, $2 million plus on Amazon already, or at least have a Shopify site where you're doing those kind of numbers to connect with us and for us to start helping you with your brand. But the growth audit is the first place that we start, and we identify some growth opportunities both in PPC and your organic side of it, right? So we try and understand, like, hey, how your current organic sales looking versus your index keywords, and where's the biggest opportunity to get those index keywords into the buyer zone so you get more organic sales, and then how does PPC play a part in that? So we'll unpack that in the organic growth audits and PPC audits. And we also do a really interesting pricing analysis for the algorithm, and understanding, how are you priced versus your competitors? How does the algorithm rate you over your competitors on your price versus your ratings? And then also, where are most customers buying? Is the most money coming in at this price point, or a cheaper price point, or a more expensive one? So that's a really cool part of the audit, and that's all for free. And we'll get that done and over to you as part of the PPC. So don't forget, obviously, we do a lot of, outside of the PPC side, we do a lot of optimization on your SEO side, specifically for Rufus, image analysis, AI keyword generation. That's a big strength of ours. And this is the offers to get the growth audit. You can go to ZonGuru.link/growth audits, or there's a link, I think that Orange Klik will post, on this front, where you can click on. Or if you're a brand, you can get a percentage off if you just want to use our technology. Or if you're an agency and you want to connect with us, there's a link there as well. You can connect with us there. But if you're interested in the PPC and understanding that better, or even our SEO side and our technology and the kind of done-for-you managed service that we can offer on top of that, you know, and you're doing 1 million plus, 2 million plus on Amazon, or in your Shopify store, click on the growth audit, connect with us there, and let's have a conversation.
Okay, sounds very good. Yeah, we're gonna post all of the links to the video description below as well. One thing which is really interesting for me that caught my ears a few times is that you said that you're actually like working together with the brand to kind of figure out like what's the best way to work with their PPC. So how does the collaboration then work with the brands like our because it's managed for you service, right? So after the audit, if a brand finds you find the brand suitable and also the brand would like to opt in for this technology and the service, then how do you usually work together with the brands?
Yeah, it's a good area to unpack, and I think some of the most important things about growth on Amazon is one, every brand is different. Every brand has a customized use case, and also a potentially a customized strategy. What are they focused on? How do they want to grow? What part of their portfolio are they growing? You know, how well are they optimized currently? Do they have a good brand strategy, brand tone of voice? Are they aligned with the algorithm? There's many questions there, and areas to dig into with brands. And once we have a very clear understanding of the brand, the strategy, the performance of the current portfolio, we come up with a roadmap of how do we actually optimize that. And you know, there's very different strategies for massive portfolios, you know, through to very strong individual parents products. You know, how do we group those together? How do we, you know, figure out the you know, the ACOS tacos growth strategy, targeted keywords that we want to move into better buy zone organic rank positions. All of these different pieces are available in our technology and tracked, and we get the insights from that, and therefore understanding the strategy from the brand, looking at the insights, marrying those together, surfacing some of those and saying, hey, what do you think of these? We're seeing some interesting data here. And then aligning on a strategy to move forward. That's the kind of together strategy that happens, is like input from the brand, understanding of that, feedback from the data, bringing those insights back into alignment with the brand, seeing what we can learn from that, and then implement that into a very flexible workflow and management system is the right approach, right? So that's what we're working on. It's never perfect, but we're constantly trying to optimize that and create efficiencies around that, so that we're getting the right insights in the fastest way. Everyone can learn from it, and we can tweak and optimize the strategy moving forward, and then deliver on that through the different workflows.
Okay, but I think it's the great approach to have, especially as you just explained throughout the interview as well, and your presentation. That all brands are different. There are different goals. They're in different phases of growing their businesses. So happy to hear that you're working closely with the sellers to help them to sell more products on Amazon. Before we go, would you like to give us also a quick overview of some other tools, or like the main tools ZonGuru is also offering for sellers? Because there might be Amazon seller listening to us who maybe is not wanting to opt in for this managed service, but would be interested to learn more about the other tools you're offering, and also maybe highlight the website address of the tool as well.
Yeah, go to zonguru.com. There's actually an interactive live demo on the homepage. You can just click on that to really see our tools. And you know, obviously you sign up, there's a free trial, and you know, typically once you've connected your data, there's some really interesting data around business reporting, and a lot of uniqueness that we have around that, specifically around context. So understanding, you know, what is impacting your brand, whether it's something that's happening to your brand, something that's happening in the niche, or something that's actually happening to competitors, and understanding, you know, what's happening there and tracking that over time. That's a big strength of ours. And then obviously, you know, the flagship area around keyword intelligence and SEO, and being able to optimize listings for Rufus, and doing it in a very fast, efficient way is one of our biggest strengths. And then niche analysis, opportunity analysis, review automation. These are areas of strength as well. So you could get in, you know, try our tools. There's a really interesting way to check your current scoring of your listing for Amazon's algorithm and all the latest developments there, and compare that to your top competitors to see where they are strong and you're weak, or vice versa. So that's an easy way to see, have you put your best foot forward in terms of your listing right now. You know, if you are an agency or a high enterprise brand, we do have some additional reporting tools that you can have access to. So if you're interested in that and you don't see that in a demo, connect with us. We have, you know, literally over 20-30 reports that you can access as part of our reporting lake that we have. That is pretty interesting to check out too.
Okay, sounds good. And also, if you watch this video and have any questions about what John was explaining to us, you can also leave the questions under the video as comments, because then we can ask ZonGuru to come back to the comments and also answer your questions. So thanks again for joining me and for sharing what you're up to now and how you're supporting bigger brands. And I'm looking forward to see you soon again.
Thanks, LISETT. Always great to connect with you. Appreciate it, and looking forward to the next time.
I hope this video will help you to understand why AI alone isn't enough for PPC management, and how ZonGuru's approach combines rule-based bidding with velocity optimization. If you are interested in what ZonGuru does, check the link in the video description. I believe there is also a discount code for you. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to help us create more educational content for Amazon sellers. If you have additional questions on content you heard today, leave them in the comments section below. And now I recommend you to watch another video where we explore different PPC management strategies that can help improve your advertising performance on Amazon. So check this out.